Hello and welcome everyone to the Sometimes Vlog. Ha 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 ha. It's the Midnight Vlog. It's a vlog that happens sometimes in the middle of the night. Technically it is not midnight, but it is close to the middle of the night, which makes this the Midnight Vlog. It is a vlog that happens in the midnight. And look, it is Frankula. Gaze into his eyes. Gaze into his eye and look upon the wonder. Also, it is Frankenstein's monster. Can you handle the scariness of the middle of the night vlog? We shall see. We shall see. Ooh, I'm tripping over the box. That is very creepy. Very creepy and very vlogular. Look, it is me. Oh, I have a reflection. That is unusual for me. Hold on. This is the lamp of truth. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the midnight vlog. Oh, this doesn't really work anymore. When the lamp is on. I love lamp. Look at that lamp. I love lamp. What's more horrifying than the middle of the night? I'll tell you what, this dirty room. But that is neither here nor there. It's time for the first midnight vlog. Like I pointed out a minute ago, it is not midnight. It is past midnight. It's the middle of the night. And together, see, I had to grow this out just for this. And together, we will explore the secrets. What secrets are you asking? Not the secrets contained in the works of Mark Twain. Not the secrets of Frankula, although I'm actually pretty happy with the way Frankula turned out. And kind of sad, don't look into my trash can. Kind of sad about, or look at my sock. Don't look, never mind this striped sock. Kind of happy with this turned out, although it's sad. You sell the original painting, it's gone forever, and it's now on eBay. I haven't the seller's remorse. But that's off to eBay. Hopefully I'll be able to photograph it well, and maybe make a future print of it to remember its glory. But the original shall be owned by somebody, the highest bidder. I'm not a vampire, but I am very much Dracula-centric today, because today was the day of Frankula. Frankula has come to life, and also the Frankula t-shirt on Spreadshirt. Live fast, die poor. Spreadshirt.com. There's also a Frankenstein's t-shirt, which I'm not seeing here, but that'll be up soon. And also, look at this. Bela Lugosi's Dracula. And also, I just went and saw that movie, Dracula Untold, the new Dracula Untold movie. I did not hate it. It's definitely set up for sequels. I'm trying to think how I can avoid spoilers, but I'm pretty sure the sequels would not be good. One man's opinion. Okay, it's the midnight vlog. I missed vlogging earlier today, so I thought, just because I miss it in the middle of the day, and just because I'm planning on doing a little more vlogging tomorrow, doesn't mean there should be no vlog at all. There should be a vlog. And even if we have to do it in the middle of the night, there should be, this hat does not match the voice, there should be a midnight vlog. I'm just really obsessed with Dracula today. This is a very Dracula, a little Dractastic day. So ignore my enthusiasm for that horrible Dracula accent. Okay, it's more Russian now. It's getting more Russian, less Transylvanian. Okay, so instead, I thought I would answer these Instagram comments. I asked you on Instagram to ask me some questions, and there are way more questions than I could possibly answer. I'm going to do my best to answer, or maybe Frankula should answer the questions. The KGB will wait for no one. It's true. Okay, are you ready? Margie says, what ethnicity are you? Or where are your relatives from?
Well, I've got relatives from all over. I've got some relatives from Canada. I've got some relatives from Merino Valley. My ethnicity, I am mostly English with a little bit of Scottish. My great-grandfather was from Scotland and also Sicilian. So if you're wondering where the brown comes from, it's actually from being tan in the sun. But the thing about being Sicilian and getting all the Sicilian blood, other than the wild hand gestures that I constantly make and the trouble and difficulty controlling the volume of my voice, the thing about having the Sicilian blood means that when you get tan from the sun, you stay tan for a long time. You actually have to be indoors for quite a long time to re-pale. This portion of my body is actually quite pale. This portion of my body, not so much. Not so much. I need to avoid the sun. Okay, see, look, if I go at this rate, it'll take me all day to answer these questions. And we don't have all day. All day is already finished. We only have all night. Okay, so next. Favorite Huell Hauser episode and why? My favorite episode of any Huell Hauser show, either Visiting or California's Gold, is the one where he visits the Baghdad Cafe, which is this little place in the middle of nowhere in the desert that I've actually been to on more than one occasion. This is my favorite, and also Adam the Woo's favorite. I sent him this episode a while ago. I don't know if he had seen it before that or not. Where Huell Hauser pretty much turns a visit to a cafe with a bunch of people who have no idea about the cafe's history, no idea. They're just in the cafe having lunch, and turns it into maybe the funniest thing that's ever aired on public television. Do you live at Disneyland? I do not live at Disneyland. I live in here. See, that's my pillow. And this is my bed. No, I don't live there. But I live close to there. And I go there all the time. Because if you can, why wouldn't you? Right? What is your favorite band? My favorite band is The Clash. LOL at Soul Train. That's not a question, Sarah Say. That's not a question. Empire or Jedi, and why? The Empire Strikes Back. How could you even ask that question? As much as I love Return of the Jedi, and as much as I actually do like the Ewoks, and I know that is heresy for some crazy hardcore Star Wars nerds, The Empire Strikes Back is maybe the greatest movie ever made. Ever. Irving Kershner did a hell of a job directing that one. What tunes do you listen to while rolling in the Mustang? Or are you listening to books on tape from Jeff Heimbach? I am not listening to any books on tape from Jeff Heimbach, although I have listened to more cute stories with Rolly Crump, which are on CD in the Mustang. No, well, the first thing, I don't know, I listen to a lot of different stuff. The Beatles, I listen to a lot of blues. The first thing I ever put in the Mustang, was it London Calling? It might have been London Calling by The Clash. But the first thing I ever bought specifically because I had the Mustang was because whoever owned it before me put in that crazy subwoofer. I decided I needed to go buy AC/DC's Back in Black on CD and listen to that a ridiculous amount of times in that Mustang. So there's a little side note for you. How do you decide where to make your videos and what to make them about? Whatever I'm interested in at the moment and have access to, or the money to go reach, I go film. That's why it's called Random Land, because it's pretty random. What's my favorite Disneyland memory? All of them. I have a lot of Disneyland memories growing up nearby. I think my favorite Disneyland memory, though, is probably being at my grandparents' house, very close to Disneyland, with my grandpa, my grandma, all my cousins. I have a lot of cousins. My brother, mom and dad, the whole family out there. We'd run outside 4th of July and watch the fireworks from their front lawn because it was directly behind where they shot off all the fireworks. That is probably my favorite Disneyland memory, even though it's not technically inside of Disneyland, so you have to give me a pass on that. Who would win in a fight? Asked Jeff Heimbach, the Red Power Ranger or the Green Power Ranger? The answer to that, Jeff Heimbach, is Japaneither. What's my favorite horror movie? At the moment, Bela Lugosi's Dracula. Was there a particular incident that made you afraid of heights? No, but when I was the first time I ever remember being afraid of heights is when I was a kid. I was standing, I can't think of where at the moment. I was standing on the side of the freeway on this concrete balcony in San Diego somewhere, and it suddenly dawned on me that there was nothing underneath it, that it wasn't on the side of a hill or anything, that it was just sticking out, projecting over a drop. And for some reason, I got the vertigo. It just felt like the whole thing was going to tip over because of my weight on the balcony, which it wasn't. But that's the first time I ever remember being afraid of heights, and I was probably 8, 9, 10 years old, very young. And that was the first time before that I always wanted to skydive. No, I was probably 12 or 13. Probably a little older than that. How did I get interested in Mark Twain? Mark Twain. I don't know. When I was a kid, I was forced to read The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. And I'm talking young, maybe 6 or 7, probably 7 years old. I've always been a very good reader. I was reading chapter books when I was very, very young, before school. And I've always had, like, you know, when you're in like 2nd grade and they tell you you have a 12th grade reading level, I was one of those kids. I could read very well, but I still can't cipher. Mathematics is my weakness. Also science, public speaking, and looks. So ever since then, I have been fascinated by the works of Mark Twain, particularly The Adventures of Tom Sawyer as a kid, and then as I got older and learned more, I got interested in the Civil War, and I started reading stuff about the Civil War. Then I was wondering what Mark Twain was doing during the Civil War. Then I started reading about Mark Twain's life, and the life is much more fascinating than any of his works. And I'll tell you, as for Lagniappe, I'll tell you that Mark Twain's book, The Innocents Abroad, is my favorite book of all time. And Jeff Heimbach. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to read the questions because there's a lot of funny stuff in between the questions on here. Jeff Heimbach is one of the questions? Yes, that's the answer. I wanted to meet you tonight, but you weren't at Downtown Disney. I'm sorry. It's not really a question, but I'm still sorry. Let's see. What talent or basic ability do you wish you had? And what superpower would I most want? I wish I had the talent for making money. I'm not kidding. That's a talent. There are some people in this world who get their first job and they're making $30 an hour and they go through life and money is just really easy to them. Money is hard for me. I have always done everything at cost and lost money, or I don't know, something about money. I'm good with it when I have it. I can spend money wisely. What I can never seem to do is just pick it up off the ground. It certainly doesn't grow on trees. I have no knack for coming up with ways of making money. That is a talent I would like to have. As far as superpower, I would like the power to regenerate from wounds. I don't know. Superpowers are tough because there's a lot of them. Okay, there's not much time, and I'm only on the first page. There's a lot of pages of questions. Okay, let's see. What was I like as a kid? Just like this, only more hyper and less in control of the volume of my voice. I know you like Back to the Future, so what time in your own life, past or future, would you like to visit if you could? Well, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I'm guessing I would rather visit the future than the past. Although if I could visit the past, where would I go in the past? I'd probably go back in time and stop you from asking that question so my brain wouldn't explode and cause a major paradox. Okay. What's my favorite Disney movie? I don't know. That is a really tough question because there are a lot of great Disney animated movies. There are a lot of great Disney live action movies. And now Disney makes all kinds of crazy movies and have their hand in all kinds of crazy live action movies. So that is a very, very hard question to answer. As a kid, my favorite Disney animated movie for the longest would have been probably tied between Peter Pan or Robin Hood. Probably Robin Hood would win. Maybe Jungle Book was in there too, but probably animated Robin Hood as a kid. Probably got the most rentals from Blockbuster. So I hope that answers the question. I don't have time for all these questions. Who would win in a fight, taco or a grilled cheese sandwich? Grilled cheese sandwich. It's not even a... Who knows that? Since when did you become the physical type? Never. How old am I? I am 31 years old. Everybody says, you look younger. I feel younger. I'll tell you why. Because I spent 7 years of my life in a van, on tour, on the road, living in a bubble. And then I spent another 7 years of my life super, super sick and indoors all the time So I've been a lot of places, I've seen a lot of things, and developed some knowledge. And I spent 7 years studying indoors because I couldn't really leave the house. Very, very ill. But I've been well preserved because of those 14 years. So in some ways, I've matured a lot. In other ways, I have matured none. So I'm kind of just a giant kid with facial hair. All right. When will you be in Disneyland this week? I have no idea. How did you come up calling your website Live Fast Die Poor? It's a website domain that we already had. I came up with this idea that I wanted to do more creative stuff besides music. I had the domain name because I was in a band called The Scarred. We put out an album called Live Fast Die Poor. We went on the tour. I didn't like the tour. The tour was canceled. I had the domain name anyways, and because I was not creative enough to come up with another name for a project that was not fully realized, we stuck with that website name, and then eventually it has morphed into the thing that it is now today. When will you do another episode of Mustache Rides? Never. Sorry. Tyler wants another one. He wanted one for a while, but we both agreed to never do that again. And since Tyler and I wrote it, we both agree to never do that again. It was fun once. It's a little rowdy, a little dirty. It probably won't exist for long on the internet. So watch it now while you have a chance. Looking forward to tonight's vlog. Well, thank you. I hope I didn't disappoint you. Who is your absolute bestest friend in the whole world? Apple Core, Baltimore. Who's your friend? Me. That's the answer. Okay. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be? At the moment, if I could travel anywhere in the world, I don't know. If I could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be? I can travel anywhere in the world, and I will walk the trail to Mordor. Does that answer your question? If I could travel anywhere in the world at the snap of my fingers, I don't know. I'd probably go to England, maybe Scotland, maybe Japan. I'd go to Japan. That's where I would go. Better mustache, Reynolds or Selleck? Come on. Roscoe Soul Train? Really? Tom Selleck. Oh, maybe Burt Reynolds. I don't know. What are the best days to go to Disneyland, aka Emptyland? The best days to go to Disneyland are during the week, maybe on a Tuesday or a Thursday. I gotta go faster. How many nipples were you born with and how many do you have now? 2 and 2. Would you like some Mountain Dew? Yes, I would. Chicken chow mein or pork fried rice? Chicken chow mein, although it has to be gluten-free because I can't eat gluten. What inspired you to start making YouTube videos? My friend Adam the Woo was making YouTube videos for a long, long time. We fed off each other because we were pretty much the same people that we were then. And he said, you know, you should be on YouTube. You should be in front of the camera. Believe me, trust me, you'll like it. And I started doing it, and you know what? I do like it. It's fun. Favorite ride and why? I don't know. Can you do one video of you riding all the rides? No, because that would take so long that I don't think it would fit in one video. It would be like 10 Lord of the Rings movies in length. Okay, favorite Adam the Woo video. My favorite Adam the Woo video is called The Lakeshore House is Destroyed Polka. Please go Google that and you will see exactly why. What makes me tick? Clockwork. Tales from the Dark Side or Tales from the Crypt? Neither. The Twilight Zone. Cats or dogs? Cats. Do you believe in a thing called love? When I just listen to the rhythm of my heart, I do. Did you have to change your underwear after Halloween Horror Nights at Universal? No, thankfully I did not. Why Mountain Dew? Because it's delicious. Can you say hi, Scott, in your next vlog? I'm sorry, I can't, but I can say in this one, hi, Scott. Thanks for the question. Walt or not, or Walt Disney if they got into a fight? I think Walt Disney because he had some of that training to be a Red Cross ambulance driver in World War I. He's a pretty meaty looking dude. Walter Knott is a little bit thinner. He's more like me. Walter Knott was like me. He's a little bit more of a lover than a fighter. Deaf in a musical or blind in a cartoon? Blind in a cartoon, because you're more rebel, and indestructible in a cartoon. So I'd rather be blind and bump around into sharp objects being a rubber cartoon than to be deaf in a musical where it's more like real life and still be able to be killed by an oncoming train or something like that. You asked. Favorite Clash song? Lost in the Supermarket. Hash browns or home fries? Depends. Tater tots. How about that? First episode of Random Land I saw, we went to Calico Ghost Town. We said we'd go back another time. We are going to go back. I will be back at Calico because I love Calico. I'm actually planning on going pretty soon, but I don't really want to say that in case I don't go. Oh my gosh, it's almost 20 minutes. Okay, here we go. Tim Taylor or Al Borland? Tim Taylor. Okay, here we go. Will you let me buy you a round-trip ticket to Disney World and be in a video? Answer, maybe. I want to go to Walt Disney World, but there are many reasons which I have for waiting and holding off and seeing what happens. Also, if I did go to Disney World, I would rather drive there in order to film things all along the way and film things all the way back. It would take more equipment than I have, in the sense that I would need a laptop or some sort of mobile computer to put the footage in, to save the footage, and maybe edit on the go, because it would be kind of a multi-week process. And since I don't have a laptop, I don't have money to purchase a laptop or to drive all the way to Florida and stay out there and do what would, make the trip worth it. It's something that's just sort of on the shelf for now. If I were ever to come across $5,000 laying on the sidewalk, though, you can bet your sweet patooties I'd probably be on a road trip to Florida the next day. Because I also have to secure Tyler Evans, rock journalist. And since he also is a little bit indigent and poor, I would probably have to feed him the entire time. And that boy can eat a lot of muffins, let me tell you. Let's see. Day or night? Night. Seriously, though, would you get your band back together and go on tour? No. Not at this time. That chapter in my life is closed. Will we get together and play a show? Perhaps. We're working. Should I say this? We're working on remastering and remixing the last album that we put out. And when we do that, we may or may not get together and play one show. But that would likely be it. The Scarred is closed. Will I ever play music again? Possibly. Now? No. Not at the moment. And if I did, I wouldn't have any time to make these vlogs, because I'd be busy practicing. And okay, let's see. When I go to Disneyland in November, and if I find you, would you go on a ride with me and my friends? Answer, maybe. Depends if I'm busy. But probably. Or would you meet up at the Walt Disney Family Museum? That sounds a little bit more likely. I live fast, I pour. I have thought of another question. Have you ever thought of becoming a cast member? I have been hired at Disney twice. Both times, sadly, I cannot work at Disneyland because of visible tattoos. I can only work in certain jobs. Both times I was going back to school and could not take the job because the job would have conflicted with the school. And now, at this moment, I don't think I would be a cast member now. Although cast members are fantastic, wonderful people who work very, very hard and do a fantastic job, I kind of have more fun running around there. I wouldn't want to turn it into work. Maybe. Although I would like to maybe be the engineer on one of those trains when I'm an old man. I can dream, can't I? Okay. What's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you? Well, as I continue to embarrass myself on a daily basis, as many of you fine people have noticed, I don't know. In the words of Doc Holliday in the immortal classic movie Tombstone, Val Kilmer, I have not yet begun to defile myself. The cross necklace you wear sometimes, where could one purchase one like it? I have no earthly idea other than it's Russian, it's made of silver, and I don't know where it was purchased because it was given to me. So I don't know. Place you would most like to visit outside the US and why? Japan, because Japan is weird. I would really like to go to Japan, but Japan is very expensive. So Florida, Japan, one of those two places I would like to go there. I also like to go back to England sometime because I really, really like England, and I'd also like to go touch Stonehenge since I didn't get to do that last time I was there. I'd also like to visit the BBC Colin Firth version of Pride and Prejudice's filming locations. Yes, that's a little nerdy, and yes, that's a chick flick, but it's a hell of a chick flick. See, I can say hell of a because it's the midnight vlog. You see, we couldn't do that on the normal vlog. Whoa! LFDP After Dark. We're at 24 minutes. I don't know how much longer we can go. I only have one more page of questions that I was able to print out before the printer ran out of paper. Here we go. What made you start doing YouTube? Adam Wu pushed me into being in front of the camera. I have always made videos and edited videos ever since I was a kid. I took a break when I was doing the band stuff, and there really wasn't a way to upload videos. I made a lot of VHS tape training videos, if you know what that was, back in the day. But they went nowhere. Just showed a couple of my friends. They dazed and stupefied many, many people. It was Adam the Woo who pushed me back into working with video. And it turned out to be a lot of fun. And I met many of you fine people, so I keep going. What are all of your tattoos? I was going to say mistakes. Cheap. They're all cheap. Because I paid for very few of them. They're all just different stuff at different times. Whatever struck me at the moment, they're all a bunch of different memories, mostly from going out on tour and doing stuff. The geisha on my arm, for example, was a friend of mine's tattoo artist in Pittsburgh named Justin. The two Justins, see, we get together. We're sitting around after a show or after doing something, and he said, "Would you like to get a geisha tattooed on your arm?" And I said, "Sure." And now I have a geisha tattooed on my arm. So they're just things like that. This one is scenes from Anaheim. You have the castle right there. You have a palm tree. That is the Satellite Liquor sign, which is a historic neon sign. There's the monorail. There's Space Mountain, and there are flames behind it to commemorate a song I wrote during the time when the hills of Anaheim were on fire. The chorus too. Anyway, just random stuff. Just random stuff. Each one is a memory enshrined forever on my arm. Are you left or right-handed? Right-handed. What is my favorite TV show? I don't know. But if I had to say right at the moment, I would say The Office is probably one of my most watched TV shows. I pretty much have almost every episode of the first 5 seasons of The Office. Not memorized, but more or less in a perma loop through my brain. Honorable mention maybe goes to like the Wonder Years. I Love Lucy. Ooh. If I could be on a desert island with only one TV show, I'd be on the desert island with I Love Lucy. So let's just go with I Love Lucy. How old are you? I already said that. And do you work? I do work. I do work very hard. I work at all kinds of weird stuff. I've had all kinds of weird jobs. And I do all kinds of weird things. Do I have a career in terms of a normal job with a suit and tie? No, I don't. I paint. I do a lot of graphic design work. I'm talking about at the moment. I do these videos. I sell these t-shirts. livefastdiepoor.spreadshirt.com. I make a meager amount of money, which pretty much just goes back into making more videos and doing more creative stuff at the moment. And that's about it. But I do things on the side to survive like everyone else. I'm not talking about killing people, though. I would never do that. And the last question I have here says, are you weird? And the answer is, yes, I am. I am very weird. Thank you for watching this incredibly long, almost 30 minutes, sometimes vlog. Say thank you, Frankula. Thank you for watching this sometimes vlog. He can't talk yet. His brain is not fully formulated. The Frankenstein. See, get it? Because Frank, as Frankenstein. The funny part about that is if you spell Frankula with a K, Frankula, it's very clever and cutesy looking. So I thought it would end up being the same with Frankenstein. Turns out Frankenstein is spelled with Frank in it. So that's really not that clever. You have to put a little hyphen in there. That's neither here nor there. Tyler Evans, rock journalist, flew back in from Georgia today. So Tyler Evans, rock journalist, is back. So I'm sure we'll see him tomorrow on the daytime sometimes vlog. So you're going to be hit with 2 vlogs back to back. Ba-bam! Ba-bam! So things are going to start to resume. We got to get back to making some random land. That's why the sometimes vlogs have gotten more infrequent, because I've been busy doing other things. Especially Random Land. Random Land was sort of taking a back seat and suffering because I didn't have enough time to edit. I had to give myself a little more time to edit by filming a little bit less sometimes vlogs for the moment to catch up. Okay. I hope I've answered at least some of these questions to your satisfaction. It's very difficult to sit in one spot for this long if you're me. So I'm now going to go walk the dog up and down the neighborhood. I hope I've done my duty and I can go walk the dog, come back to my home, and sleep well. Good night, everybody. livefastdiepoor.com, livefastdiepoor.spreadshirt.com, and stuff on eBay. These paintings. Neat. I love you. Goodbye.